Hi everyone, it's Professor Patrick here. I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you guys a little bit about how to navigate a degree at Riverside City College in Applied Digital Media. Now, Applied Digital Media is the name of the program, and we usually tack on that and printing is one of our specialties. And so if you're looking in the catalog and you want to figure out what classes to take, what you're looking for is either a graphic design certificate or degree, or the graphic communications associate degree, or the applied digital media and printing associate degree. And when you meet with a counselor, to be honest with you, and don't tell anyone I said this, they may not know exactly what you're looking for, and they may not know exactly which degree is the one you really need to follow. And there is a lot of competing information out there on what classes to take and when to take them. So I want to demystify that a little bit so that if you are pursuing a career in graphics, you make the best choices with your time and with your money. So on the screen here, I have one of our little diagrams which we use to try to explain the program. And essentially what you're looking at is, and I'm going to use the associate degree as the model. So that means that assumes that you're going to be here for 4 semesters, 2 years, or the equivalent of 2 years. And while you're taking your graphics classes, you're going to be taking your general education classes as well. And I think in general, you should be taking 2 or 3 applied digital media courses to 1, maybe 2 general education courses each semester. Now you could also spread that out over a winter or a summer term if you need to extend that, or maybe even an online class for one of your general education classes. But it's a good idea to try to do those as best you can at the same time. You know, it's kind of like eating your vegetables with your dinner. I know you want to dive right into your design classes, but it is a good idea to throw in your English and your math and history when you need to. So the way the program is numbered, you can start out with the ADM 1 class and the 2A, 2B, and subsequent classes. They don't always have to be taken in sequence, but it is a good idea to start there. We try to put the introduction classes in the lower numbers, and the advanced classes usually have the letter B next to them if you're looking through the catalog. Now, another way to look at this is to decide what direction you want to take your classes in your career. Now, we have about 4 options available for you. You have a graphic design emphasis, a printing emphasis, you have a web design emphasis, and a motion graphics or multimedia emphasis. The only difference between those degrees is your electives. So your foundation classes should be the same, which would consist of the typical introduction classes, ADM 1, 2, A, and B. Then you would also take your typography class and your basic Adobe classes, including Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. Then what you do is you select your advanced classes or your electives. So would you like to pursue a advanced Photoshop or advanced Illustrator, advanced InDesign? Maybe you want to do motion graphics and you want to do After Effects. So there's a variety of other choices you can take. In addition, we have printing classes. So you have screen printing or commercial printing, and those also have a beginning and an advanced class. So if you really want to be efficient with your time, you want to decide which emphasis to take. Now, if you're talking to a counselor, they may not know that. They may not understand which classes mean the most to what your future career plans are. So be careful as you make those decisions. Of course, you can always come talk to one of the professors in ADM like me, and we can try to help explain it to you. Now, the last few classes you want to save until your spring semester are going to be something like your portfolio class, maybe even your business class. Portfolio is really meant to be your capstone class. That's the one that you do at the end after you've accumulated a couple years worth of projects, things that you're going to be able to put into your website, into your printed portfolio that are going to help you pursue that job. Here's some things to watch out for. When you come to RCC, you're going to be asked to set up an educational plan. What you want to do is make sure that you are focusing on an ADM AS 653 degree. That's the actual number the identification number for the degree. And you can find those in any of our catalogs, so you can determine, hey, that's the one I want. So when you're searching for that on your educational plan or you're talking to a counselor, you really want to make sure that that is front and center so that they give you the right sequence of courses. Now, counselors, adults, family, and others, they may want to talk you into a transfer degree or a degree that leads to a university or a four-year college. I'm going to let you decide if that's good advice or not. I'm just going to tell you what I think, and then you can make the decision for yourself. If your goal is to work and to be a graphic designer or to work in printing, motion graphics, marketing, advertising, doing something in the field, then the sooner you get started, the better. What really matters, in addition to a degree, is your portfolio and your experience. A bachelor's degree is a good goal, and it's something that we should all aspire to, and it's going to help you down the road in your degree. But it's not going to help you get in the door, really. What's going to help you get in the door are your skills in graphic design, your Adobe skills, your portfolio, and your experience. So the sooner you work, the better it's going to be for you. Now, if you want to be in management or you want to get a higher paid position, yeah, they're going to be looking for a bachelor's degree. But that's going to have to come later. So I usually recommend that students don't pursue a transfer degree. Pursue the associate in applied digital media, complete that degree entirely. Then what have you done? You've gotten your skill-based classes, your graphic design classes, and you've completed 2 years worth of general education. Those general education classes transfer to any state school. Those will go with you. So not to worry, those classes will transfer. What you may have to discuss with your future school down the road is how to transfer some of your graphic design classes. But either way, you're going to have 2 years worth of class experience when you start at that new college. Here's what happens. If you choose a transfer degree at a community college like RCC, they're going to try to talk you out of taking Photoshop, Illustrator, Introduction to Graphics, even printing graphics. Why are they going to do that? Well, because it doesn't fit the state-approved model for the 4-year graphic design program. You see, when you go to a 4-year school for graphic design, your classes are held off until your junior and senior year, which means that you have to take 2 years of general education and foundation visual art classes. Many times those foundation visual art classes are good classes, but they're unrelated. They might be art history, they might be ceramics, they might be drawing, they might be another academic art-related class. I don't know about you, but if your goal is to start working right away, I would rather do those last than first. I would rather do my Adobe classes first and do the academic art and history classes last. But for some reason, the state program isn't set up that way. I think it's because they want all people in visual art at a 4-year school to pass through the same foundation. Logical, but it's really not the most efficient process. So I think you can make the decision on whether or not you want to delay getting into the workforce by 2 years for academic classes. I think it's a smarter plan to front load your career classes, get those done, work for a little while, and then go back to school a few years later to finish up your 4-year as you try to get promoted or elevate your career. All right, so that's just a little advice from Professor Patrick. Don't tell anyone I told you, in case anybody complains about my advice, but that's what I think is the best, most logical way to get through your program quickly. And it saves you money because community college is cheaper and you won't accumulate a lot of debt in that process. All right, I hope that helps. See you around school.